Jim, my baby, intro this app.
What's up, guys? Danger Doe here.
Hello and welcome to the JARCAST episode
78?
I don't even know anymore.
78?
Both
Roll the dice.
Snake eyes.
Can you add a GIF thing?
Nope.
Dice rolling.
Nope,
Off my hand.
I cannot do that.
Zoom in on my hand.
Nope. I'm not doing that.
Why? Wow, lazy.
Well, because, I just got a 6-page video to edit and do stuff with. Nah, nothing big. No big deal. None of that.
Yeah.
So, this is the Jar show. What's it called? The Jar Media Posdact. The Pussycat show. Mm-hmm.
Ah.
I went back behind the camera because I saw one comment that said, "Wow, you're a massive idiot," and then I never want to go back in front ever again.
To be fair, you did look like a massive idiot in front of the camera.
I always look like a pink pogo when I'm in front of the camera.
You look
pisses me off.
You kind of look like a pink pogo when you're in front of the camera.
That's what I was fucking thinking. You know what I mean?
It's because we're brothers.
So, James is finally back.
From his trip to Portugal.
How was your trip in Portugal,
Get off
James?
your phone!
Fucking bitch. He's just always on his phone. And Ruben, he was at a wedding. His own wedding. He didn't invite us, which I thought was quite rude. So instead we've got, what are they called again, Jim?
Steve and Buscemi.
Nope. They were called, what the fuck are they called? Stone? What was it?
Crack.
Crack and crick.
Smack and crack.
Smack and crack. How you doing, guys? Oh, I'm doing pretty happy. How about you there over there? I'm never going to ask them a question again.
How come they've got a higher pitched voice than Dick? Dick was like, I really want to be on the podcast. And then they're like,
I thought that was Schwepp.
No, Schwepp was the,
Fuck, we haven't told them about Schwepp yet. Maybe we should keep it a secret still.
Yeah, don't.
So what's on the agenda on this show, Jim? What have you been up to since the last JARCAST? Been a busy baby? Tell you what I done.
Yeah, I've been busy.
I gone and seen the Emoji Movie.
Yeah?
That was an embarrassing experience.
Yeah?
Went by myself to Bath on my own. And on a pouring rainy day.
Was it rainy?
It was pissing it down. I actually had to go into a Debenhams and buy an umbrella because it was so soggy, and I chose to wear my fucking suede shoes on that day. My strategy was to dress as formal as possible and bring in like a notepad, so I at least maybe inspired the idea of he's not a creep who's gone by himself to see the Emoji Movie. He's come here with a purpose. I'm not sure what the purpose is, but perhaps there is a deeper meaning to this costume.
Whip out a machine gun.
Than if I just wore like a hoodie. A little bit. So I'm not going to talk any more about that.
Yeah, you've got your...
Because I've got my 6-page video on that one.
I thought it was alright though.
You didn't go. You were supposed to go with me, but you abandoned me.
No, you abandoned me to go and see it by yourself.
So, we've got Reddit questions, or we can talk about... There is something we do need to talk about, actually. Something quite pressing.
We need to get on that subject.
So,
ASAP.
Basically, whenever you come here, we end up on Netflix for a little bit. But for one purpose in particular. There's this show on Netflix, at least in the UK, called Real Rob.
What do you mean, at least in the UK?
Well, it's different in each country. The licensing is different.
Oh, right.
Which means someone in America or, I don't know, fucking Sweden or something.
Real Rob recorded in London.
But Real Rob is Rob Schneider's, I guess, sitcom?
Yeah.
What is it? Comedy? Rob Schneider's comedy.
It is a sitcom. It's a situation.
Yeah,
comedy.
But then like every comedy is like a comedy is derived from a situation, isn't it?
Amy Schumer, live.
Nope, that would be a live, stand-up performance.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Alex.
Although when it's Amy Schumer doing it, it's a live beached whale.
Alex, that's really like.
Sorry, that was out of hand. You know. Amy Schumer's
that wasn't
a funny
very
one.
funny. Much like Amy Schumer.
I've never seen anything with Amy Schumer in.
She is so bad.
What have you seen her in? All I've seen is that
Nothing,
video where it's like two 20-minute videos of someone breaking down all the jokes she's stolen from other things.
I've seen that, but I've just watched a bunch of like her doing stand up.
It's really unfunny, isn't
Yeah.
it? God, it is pathetically
She's just
unfunny.
really bad at delivering jokes.
Yeah.
I got so drunk that I blacked out.
And then, oh my god, my pussy.
Yeah. It always ends with, oh my god, my pussy.
Because Jim, do you know what the most important thing about comedy is?
Pussy?
Nope. Begins with a T.
Twat?
Yeah. If you're Amy Schumer. Wait.
What?
The most important thing to a comedy is...
Timing.
That's the one. You got it.
You
And
said I made
if-
it a
and
joke
if-
by saying it like...
Yes. Yep. I think everyone who's ever said that has done that
Timing.
every time. Yeah, every time. Every
Got
timing.
that one from the Nostalgia Critic, everyone.
Can you like go on your knees and do the... I'll start it again.
Just do the end bit.
I can't remember how it goes at the end. Doesn't it just go...
I love the Nostalgia Critic.
Good man, Doug. So, Real Rob on Netflix is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Rob Schneider. He fucking sucks.
Rob Schneider might be the worst comedian.
He
of all
thinks
time.
like, because in a lot of comedies, like, a lot of characters are just assholes.
Yeah.
He thinks that is like that's all.
That's enough.
That's all it like needs to be.
I know. I'll write a show about being an asshole.
Yeah.
And it's like, Rob, do you know anything about comedy? Clearly not.
Mhm.
He's-
But like in that one we watched today, he's at like some baby circle, whatever.
yeah,
And
like
he just grabs a woman by her head and like shoves her to the
Yeah.
ground.
yeah.
Like as
And that was the one thing I said, hey, that's kind of funny.
but like
No, because that's something. Normally in
I
this show,
know.
Real Rob, it's like this aimless, static...
him talking with his wife that can't speak.
Yeah, it's basically this weird like passion project. He's like, yeah, I'm Rob Schneider. Man, my life's the greatest.
It's
Hey.
really sad.
Hey, studio, you got some money so I can make a show about myself and my family? Here you go, Rob. Can you just leave us alone, please? We'll give you like a bit of money.
We'll give you $30.
Yeah. And he's like, I'll take it. Okay, I'll. He sits down with his pen and paper and he's like, well, I'll make it about me, of course. Who should I cast in it? Oh, my beautiful wife, of course, and well, I just had a baby. Everyone needs to see my beautiful baby. Everyone cares about my baby.
That's like the worst thing because he's got this wife that's like a quarter of his age,
She's like 20 and he's
and she's
50.
like Mexican,
Mm-hmm.
and he just like fucking shows her off. Wear this that makes your tits look huge.
Honey.
Wear this tiny skirt that just covers your ass.
So this is the plot of the first episode was, we've only seen 3 episodes. What the fuck was it?
Well, it started with him.
Honey, I want to touch your boobies, honey.
Yeah.
You'll not touch my boobies. Come on, honey. Please. No, Rob. I'm a mother. Come on. I'll rape you.
Oh, Jesus.
And episode 2 is like this really unfunny thing where he's like, hey, who's that over there? Oh, that's your stalker. My stalker?
That's in the first episode, isn't it?
Is it?
Because the second.
But I thought the
episode-
second episode has the stalker has like his own thing. He's developed a bit more.
But the second episode is the vasectomy one.
Oh yeah. So maybe the first episode is the stalker one.
Is that one like 40 minutes long?
It feels like it. So-
Every episode feels like 2 hours long.
So in one of them, there's like this side plot thing about baby. There's this side plot thing about the stalker.
The stalker, yeah.
And the stalker's like, "Hey Rob, I know everything about you. I know your whole life." And Rob's like, "Hey, come on, man, that's not cool. Go away." And then he's like, "Do you want me to drive you to work?" And he's like, "Whoa, epic." And then it ends.
Yeah, then he goes back to being a stalker though. So he's like, "I don't like you in my car."
The point is, it's the worst comedy of all time. Like I'm not joking. Like it's worse than what's like a really lame comedy. You know, like even The Big Bang Theory, something like that, which I personally don't find funny, but there are jokes in it like that have been written by somebody a little bit sometimes now and again. There's something there. There are characters who all have like look, or at least look different, you know?
Yeah, and they're not like weirdly airbrushed to have like fucking crystal
fucking laser
eyes.
eyes. They look like Superman right before he shoots lasers out of his eyes.
And
it's really
like
bizarre.
Shiny and weird.
Yeah, I would recommend, just out of pure curiosity's sake, if you've got like 20 minutes to kill, or even 5 minutes just to see what it's like, just load up Real Rob on Netflix and just see what an atrocious fucking series that is.
It is sad because like it's clearly this passion project.
Well, he thinks, the problem is he thinks he's as genius as Seinfeld or Louis C.K.
Yeah, he thinks people like love him. Because so much of it is about like, man, being a celebrity is so hard.
Yeah, that's the joke. Every time it's
and
like...
he's always getting harassed by all his fans.
Yeah.
Like, in real life, nobody gives a shit about him. Why are you always doing this?
Yeah, because like Rob Schneider, everyone hates. He's never been in a good film.
Like,
remember The Animal? That was brilliant. I remember seeing that when I was young, like the target demographic.
The
like,
Animal?
Yeah, I think it was called The Animal. Or Animal or something like that. I'm watching it just feeling like I was creepy for watching it. Like I felt quite unsettled by it because it was like so unfunny and so
I don't even
just crass. It's like he becomes an animal and he's like, "Oh look, there's a woman. Let's go sniff her little fucking booty, mate." You know. I think. You know, it's been a long time. Then of course you move on from fucking Real Rob and you go on a real comedy like Always Sunny or...
We literally watched Real Rob.
Yeah.
Then Peep Show.
Then an episode of Peep Show, which is an English comedy, which is the most awkward thing you'll ever see. Intentionally, yeah. It's like cringy in
I don't know, which is more awkward, Peep Show, which is like really, really intentionally awkward, or Real Rob that's really not.
Shit. I think that Real Rob is more awkward.
It's
because
really...
he actually thought that he was doing something clever.
Yeah.
Whereas Peep Show like is being clever in the way it's written and the performances and everything.
I just really hate watching Real Rob.
I like hate it, but I'm fascinated by it at the same time.
That's the trouble.
I can't watch more than one episode.
No. It's just dull. It's really boring.
It's dull because there's no like through line with anything.
No.
Like all the best comedies have like different strings of plots that are going on at once. And the plot, I say plot loosely, it's just like silly thing. And comedic elements are called back to throughout it, and jokes are set up, and then there's a punchline normally, you know?
Yeah.
But there's none of that. There are just like completely pointless scenes in Real Rob where it's like, okay, so there was nothing funny about that. It's not like moving anything along in any way. So what was the point of that at all? The answer is there is none. So yeah, Real Rob, quite a backwards recommendation for that one. Like just like out of morbid curiosity, I would recommend it just to see how bad a comedy can be. It's
like a reason for you to not try out doing like your own comedy thing. Like if you wanted to upload an episode of...
Yeah.
It's like just hold on and think about what you're making, because like this is worst
That's the
case
thing
scenario.
though. Like, I feel like even amateur fucking like students could make better shit than that.
I think they could because they're not blinded by their own ego.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Ego is the biggest
It's a crutch.
crushing force.
It's a crutch and the opposite of a crutch.
Yep, definitely. Was definitely listening to what you just said. We're going to go to Reddit now, because we haven't done Reddit in a while. Now's a good time, because we're being quite focused on this one so far. So we might actually answer some questions, and I had a little peek. They're not atrocious for once, which is something. So head over to our Jar Media or whatever the fuck, the Reddit page.
Put clapping in the back.
Nope. Not going to do
the
that.
dice thing now. Yeah, put laughing when I did that.
Way, ha, ha, ha.
No, like actual, not just you.
No, I'm purposely not going to, so it's really awkward and real rubbish. I'm going to just replay... Every time something's awkward now, I'm just going to say, that was real Rob.
That was real rubbish.
No, Rob has to be in there. for that
Real
to work.
rubbish.
Yes, real rubbish.
That's
That's the name of the episode, real rubbish.
I thought it was first BROCAST.
No, we know it's the first BROCAST. That's supposed to be something that we keep behind the scenes. I will edit that out. No one heard that, but wait. This question doesn't work at all under the confines of this, but I'm still going to ask it anyway. What were your first impressions of each other? When I watched Jim slop out of the fucking pussy when he was born. I didn't watch Jim get born. I was like, there he is. Wait, hey.
You were 3 years old.
I said it in that exact voice as well, like fucking
Yeah.
Stewie. Can you imagine me as Stewie?
Ugh.
My voice now, but in a 3-year-old body, with my exact like attitude. Wow, Mum, that new Christopher Nolan movie had some problems.
It'd be like that movie about the black tiny guy.
Fuck, we tried watching that as well not long ago. What the fuck's it called?
Black tiny guy.
The little guy, something like that. Small guy.
It's probably they would have worked black in there somehow because it's that guy.
The Wayans brothers. You know, they're the most like profitable like African Americans in that industry. Like of all time, yeah.
I mean, they don't have a lot of competition, really.
Yeah, what about
Key and Peele?
yeah. Jesus Christ, you just made me compare Key and Peele to the Wayans in my head, and it's like, Jesus.
To white girls.
White girls compared to Keanu. Well, Keanu was alright, to be honest. Pretty funny.
Didn't people shit on Keanu?
I mean, a little bit, I guess. But I thought it was fine.
Because it's just not as good as the show.
Yeah. What it was basically like one of the sketches, but as a whole
Yeah.
movie, effectively, which I thought was fine. Like, it wasn't particularly memorable or anything, but I had enough laughs from it, and it wasn't one of those things where a lot of American comedies do this thing where everyone's just like trying to scream over each other to see who's the loudest.
Even
be the most
Philadelphia does
yeah,
that
exactly.
all the time. It does get really annoying.
Does it annoy you?
It
Always
really
Sunny.
annoys me. There's this one episode in the season before the latest one, I think, where they're all in court.
Yeah. I liked that episode. I thought it was funny.
I
The guy
thought
with
it
the
was-
hands.
Yeah, but the guy with the hands and there's the guy with like a bird in his hat.
Yeah.
But like, they just scream.
Yeah.
And Charlie Day just screams. And he like stutters and he's like...
That was a really good impression of him. I like Charlie though in that show.
Yeah, no, I really like him as well. He's like really funny, but
I get what you mean. Like
he has that trope to yibbity yabbity.
Charlie Day has to be in that show to work, because in like Horrible Bosses and other things that he's been in, he's just awful.
Yeah,
Just terrible.
I feel like it's miscasting in those roles.
Yeah. He was alright in Pacific Rim, actually. He was fine.
He was no, that actually really worked. I thought
That character, yeah,
Because,
fit his sort
like
of thing.
crazy scientist would yibbity yab.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, he writes some of the episodes of Always Sunny.
Does he?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Always Sunny's really good all round.
It is really good.
Really, when it hits, it is hysterically funny.
Mm-hmm.
It is really, really
and it
good.
hits a lot of the time.
Yeah. Like, I just like watched every episode of the new season.
Yeah, I did as well.
And there wasn't one I
They're
didn't
like the perfect length as well. They're like 20 minutes.
That's the thing. They don't overstay their welcome, and that's the thing that
Not at all.
these American. I keep saying American because there are just way more of them, aren't there?
Yeah.
Comedies.
There's a lot of really shit English comedy, so don't you worry.
Keith Lemon the movie.
Just anything with him.
God, that guy is so awful. God. Remember when Dad brought home that Bo Selector fucking DVD?
I wasn't there for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I never watched it.
I just remember, like, for years, Dad was just rave on about Bo Selector and how fucking hilarious it was. And I always sort of, like, believed him a little bit, because now and again he had mentioned things that he found funny and were funny. Can't think of an example right now. But that one, he brought home this fucking Bo Selector DVD, and it was so awful. It was fucking awful. We lasted like 7 minutes, and I was like, I'm going to turn this off because this is so shit. And then we took it to, like, you know, CEX or one of those trading places.
I remember taking it there.
And the guy was like, we can't give you anything for this.
Yeah. And we were still like, just take it.
Yeah, we just said take it. So on the receipt, I remember looking for it, and it was just Bo Selector, or whatever the fuck it's called. £0 and 0 pence. Just for nothing. What an atrocious fuck. I've forgotten what I was talking about then. Where did that come from?
Dad's tastes.
No, the beginning of this, that was such a mega tangent because there's
Americans shouting at each other.
Yeah, but then why did that come up? The topic was, what were your first impressions of each other?
Oh fuck. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, it started with you saying I slopped out of a pussy.
Now that's comedy.
I mean, I can't have a first impression of you because I've literally known you
I could have had a first impression of you, but I was 3. And my memory is so awful.
Was it similar to Boss Baby?
That's another movie we watched recently as well.
It is.
I don't know how to feel about The Boss Baby.
I don't hate it, like...
I don't hate it, but there's part of it that's troubling me because I mentioned this kind of in my Emoji Movie video, but I guess this is like 22 minutes into this, whatever. I think that some of these studios are purposefully releasing movies that aren't just bad or you know, the premise looks bad, but they're beyond atrocious, so they'll be memed. Like, memeing, I think, is actually becoming like an advertising strategy.
Yeah, for sure. No, I've seen loads of people going to see the Emoji Movie.
Yeah.
Just so they can tweet about how bad it was.
Yeah.
Like, not people, like, even in your...
Like I really stress in the video. Look, I saw it so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, it is not worth it. It literally is just rubbish. You don't need to waste your time. Like, the reason everyone's saying it's so bad is because it is bad. There's plenty out right now, which is good. Give your money to that. Like, it's not bad enough to be funny. We're not talking about like a Real Rob thing where it's like just bizarre and how bad it is. It is like this corporate fucking sick creation by a bunch of fucking fat cats in Hollywood. You know, Sony
Fat
Pictures. Well, that was DreamWorks. Boss Baby? I can't believe we sat through the whole thing. That, to give it credit, I managed to sit through the entirety of the Boss Baby. So, like, that's something. I remember feeling a bit bored at times because it was like...
sure. There were some really boring bits. I thought, like... that there's some really awkward shit in it, like, you know, the sucking on the...
Yeah. They have to, like, suck a dummy to go into the, like, baby land.
Yeah.
And so it's just sat there, this, like, 4 or 5-year-old just sucking on a dummy, and Alec Baldwin playing a baby going on a dummy, and it was like, it just made me feel weird. A lot of moments in the film.
It's the explanation before it that he gives.
You gotta suck.
I'm gonna show you where babies come from, put this in your mouth and suck.
Yeah, that was
And then
it.
he's like, ew, I'm not putting that in my mouth. I don't know where it's been. And then he says, it's not where it's been. It's where it will take you, I think.
How the fuck did you remember that so clearly? Quite memorable dialogue, that bit.
It was actually really hilarious, and I laughed a lot.
I laughed once. I just laughed every time, maybe twice. I laughed every time like a baby was just thrown.
Yeah.
Because that's funny to me.
It's inherently funny, like.
Just hurling a baby is just a
CG
ludicrous.
baby.
Yeah, not a real one.
Real baby.
It's just a ludicrous
That would be
concept, and to
heinous.
see it was quite funny. Like, it was the same director of Madagascar 3, which, you know,
Was it?
notoriously.
You fucking love that movie.
Notoriously, I fucking love Madagascar 3 because I was like, here we go, let's load up Madagascar 3. I'm gonna fucking hate this.
And
But I
then
was just,
it's that French woman, isn't it? She's
I was
like
just
running
so
through
entertained
brick
by
walls
that
and
movie because it is so
stuff.
over the
That
top.
guy knows how to do like chase scenes,
Yeah,
animated chase
yeah.
scenes, and be like really fun with it.
There's this really funny chase scene in Madagascar 3 towards the
I
beginning. I
remember,
think I
like-
showed you it, didn't I?
Yeah, I was in my room, probably just playing like some shooter,
Yeah.
Titanfall 1 or something. And then you're like, Jim, just come and watch this. I'm like, you brought me down here to watch fucking Madagascar 3 chase scene.
But it's so ridiculous because like she's just got superpowers all of a sudden.
Yeah.
She just like runs through walls, brick walls, and leaves the.
It is like funny visual comedy
Yeah.
that works. It's
I mean, if you
hard to
can't make that
explain
work
stuff.
in your fucking animated movie,
Yeah,
what's
it's
what
like,
good is it? Even the emoji movie
It's what
does
you
that.
do right with an animated movie,
Yeah.
like larger than life shit. Anyway, what was your first opinion of James?
The weird thing was about James is you told me a lot about James before
Yeah.
I ever met him.
Well, because my earliest memory of James was James threatening to hit me back in year 2.
Oh
And
yeah, I
then-
feel like you've mentioned that before.
Yeah, and then I told the teacher that I was hit by James, so he got in trouble. I remember
Earliest
with
memory.
Ruben, I started playing Halo 3 with him before I realised it was actually Ruben. And one day at school, he was like, "Are you Beamy Apple?" I was like,
That is weird.
and I was
Well,
like,
how did
"Yeah."
you start playing Halo with him then?
I don't know. But we played Halo with him, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
When we were like... Because I met him at science club at school,
Yeah.
and we must have already had an Xbox beforehand, and he added me. He remembered the gamer tag.
Yeah. God, that is a
And
fucking
added
deep
me.
cut.
And yeah. Then at school, like weeks after I'd already been playing with him loads.
Yeah. Just coming up and being like, are you?
Is this you?
I
Because we
remember-
played so much Halo as well.
Oh yeah.
So like,
I remember with James, because he'd been brought up as such a meme
he was a meme.
to me. I remember actually thinking, oh, you're actually way more normal than I was expecting.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember thinking that. That was before you'd do his fucking like just mad shit that you'd do out of nowhere. But that's James for you. What you got to say for yourself, James? Haha, good one, buddy. Mad Profits says, what happened to watching the rubbish movies? And if you knew good anime to watch, do you think it would change your opinion on it as a whole? If I
No.
knew good anything, it would change my opinion on it.
What do you mean?
Well, like if there was something I didn't like, let's say I didn't like country music, and then I listened to good country music all of a sudden, then I
No, but I mean like if you listen to one good country song but you hate all the rest, you're still gonna think as a whole the genre isn't for you.
yeah, I would have to see quite a few animes, I reckon.
I'd have to start watching animes and regularly liking them.
Yeah, we've talked about
Is
anime so
a
much.
thing or is it anime?
I think you just say anime.
Did I say animes?
I think
then?
I said animes.
I can't remember.
Anime. We stopped watching the rubbish movies because it meant it was like another thing to have to do on the podcast day. Because it's already a pain in the ass enough to organise a podcast day. And then when we're actually all here to not procrastinate.
Yeah.
Well, we procrastinate for like 5 hours.
When did I get here?
Which
I
is
got
plenty
here
of
at
time to
6.
watch a movie in, but like we would still do that 5 hours of procrastinating no matter what. So
it would be procrastination movie podcast.
Yeah.
We'd record it about 1
Yeah.
in the morning.
So that's the reason. We used to be quite organised. So I think we just had a day where it was always just this day.
Well, yeah, because that's when I didn't have like.
Yeah, you didn't
work
have to
on
be.
any fucking day. God knows. Yeah.
So that's why. That Jumper meme is still going.
Jumper.
Remember that film, Jumper? With Hayden Christensen?
Yeah. Did we watch that for a thingy?
No. Because we had a vote, I think, and Jumper was one of them, and
Yeah.
it lost. And we're like, fine, we're never watching Jumper then. Cue clap.
Which is... That was a terrible one. Shall I do another?
There you go, that's better. Can't believe I missed that. Read this in a bad accent. Says, best pickup lines. Have you ever successfully used one? In what situations do they work? I chose this one because I don't believe anyone in real life has ever used a pickup line.
No. Not like for seriously.
At least not in the UK. I refuse to believe it. Maybe in America I could see someone seeing
Some
like a
fuckboy.
some fuckboy seeing like Ryan Gosling do one in a movie and being like, yeah, I'm gonna write that down. Writes it on his arm and he's like, wow, are you an angel? Yeah.
Is it tattooed?
Are you an angel? That's my best pickup line.
Have you ever successfully picked up with that pickup line? Are you an angel?
I just don't really like the concept of like picking someone up. Really,
I've
you know
picked
what I
someone
mean?
up and just ran off with them before.
No, but that's normal. I mean, like going into a bar and scouting it out and being like,
It is weird.
yeah, you.
It's
I want you. I'm gonna go over to you and try and fuck you. There's a joke in one of the episodes of Peep Show where they're like goth girl makes a joke about why doesn't everyone just line up in terms of attractiveness and then
Yeah.
just go and fuck, just be
like
done
the
with
most
it.
Attractive, get the most attractive.
Yeah.
And
and then the
then
rest
you
just
go from there.
yeah. So that's not really my thing. I leave a comment if you've ever used a pickup line on someone and if
We're
it's
gonna
actually
get like
worked.
20 comments of like I got my current wife by.
Yeah, just everyone.
Yeah.
I guess it's like a different time now. You just talk to people and meet people like different ways. There are more options now. Like, why would you need a pickup line when you can literally have your pickup line in your fucking what's that app where you like match with people? Tinder, yeah. We can literally have your pickup line in a Tinder thing, so you don't even need to say it or even have a pickup line at all. You can just have a picture of yourself with your fucking cock out and that's enough. Forgot about Tinder. We were going to do like a jar Tinder challenge, weren't we?
Who
can get the most like matches?
I reckon it would either be you or James.
Why?
Because James would just whip his dick out.
His profile picture is just a dick with a little smiley face drawn on it. And he just gets hundreds of matches. There's something about this one I really like. This is a nice one. From the Big Cosmo. Hi Jar, not a question but rather a thank you. The Yogs is by far the thing I look forward to most in the week, so sad as that is. It's always a great thing to listen to on a Monday night and always makes me laugh out loud. Especially when Alex starts fucking crying over Jim saying pussy. It always makes me feel happy and make me laugh, so thanks for making the Yogs and keep them coming. And then DV.Ra replied, I feel the exact same. So while only half of us are here, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's okay, Jim.
What do you mean that's okay? I'm the one that said you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Say congratulations.
Paris Malone. It's quite nice that people laugh at things that are said by one of us.
It's fucked up.
What is?
How serious? Like, we're talking about serious stuff and they're just laughing.
Yeah, we always talk about really serious stuff like Real Rob.
Real Rob.
He wants to be taken seriously, so we take him seriously. Minister_Wody says, will you ever post all of your weird old videos, or
No.
are there some that are too strange?
Yes.
It's not that they're too strange, it's that they're too fucking embarrassing.
Well, no, it's both. Like, there are ones that are too strange.
What one's too strange?
Well, I mean, there's one that you just lost, thank God.
Dubstep Parkour 2.
Yeah.
Because I knew people, like,
That
were
one
immediately were
is-
asking for it, and it's like, you know what, I'd give it to you if I had it, but I don't.
No.
It's gone.
I'd actually protest. Because it is so weird, like... What we did with the first one it's quite obvious.
Yeah, it was
Like,
like
just
a
make
top
fun
5
of-
video.
Yeah, just make... Oh.
You knocked the cigarette out of Dino Cigarette's map. Tyrannosaurus.
So obviously there was all this dubstep stuff, and parkour was a thing, and they were both used together, and it was really lame. So we made fun of it. Like, it's the most thought we put into a video back then.
Come on, selling out was pretty epic.
And then for some reason with Dubstep Parkour 2, it just went this completely opposite direction, where there were like two rivaling gangs. Because we didn't actually record anything that whole day. You just basically made a music video with the Mirror's Edge theme tune, like a remix version. Because most of the day was getting your fucking iPad out of the stacked fences.
My iPod Touch that fell out of my pocket, and got stuck. Yeah, there aren't that many that are left to show.
No.
And the ones that are so deeply embarrassing. Some of them I can't watch.
There is one that is just...
The Minecraft one.
Obviously,
I think Ruben would
it's
actually
Minecraft.
kill all of us if it was posted.
Yeah, I think he would as well. Because he is the most embarrassing thing.
God, it is awful. What the fuck was I thinking? You made a good point with that one, saying like this is the kind of shit that Dolan Dart would have memed.
Yeah.
If he'd got a hold of it.
If he'd have been around back then,
Yeah.
like, we'd be fucked. You wouldn't have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, luckily, I think he's a similar age to me, so he probably was doing cringy shit at the time as well.
Let's hope so.
Here's the thing, though, because I think I was saying to Ruben the other day, do you think that there should be a law passed that says we don't take it into account anything that like you've done up until you're like 15 or 16 in terms of like the internet?
There shouldn't.
Why not?
Because if a kid fucking kills the family dog...
Oh, obviously, within reason. I mean, like...
Yeah, but an
Let's
embarrassing
say-
thing isn't going to be not embarrassing because it's legally not embarrassing.
No, not that. I mean for... say, for example, you do something really cringy and it goes viral.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who you are. Everyone knows your name. And you go to get a job, but they're like, oh, we can't have this cringy little rat.
No. Still no, because it's up to an employer. There's nothing in the law saying you have to employ someone, like, if they're not cringy. Cringe has nothing to do with
No,
being
it's
employed.
more than cringe. What if you say something stupid on Twitter when you're 13 and that comes up when your name is searched? Right? That because people will lose their jobs over tweets and Facebook posts and stuff.
Tweets from, like, the recent years, maybe, not from when you were a kid.
Not me, no. I'm saying
I'm not
now.
I mean, like, getting a job, like, working in Sainsbury's. They're not going to Facebook you and see if you've said the N-word recently.
You get my point. Because, like, it's a different time now. All the people that run everything now,
I know.
they would have been the cringiest people in the world. Some of those people would have been cringier than anyone who exists now. Cringier than...
Imagine the videos Donald Trump would have made.
That's
with all that
my
money.
point. He probably has them somewhere on VHSs stored away in his, Ark of the
In an
Covenant
Oval Office.
base. So like they skipped all of it. They don't have any cringy Minecraft videos to haunt them. They've just got like, I remember that time we sniffed that fucking hobo's arse. Stuff like that. But they have no proof of it. It's all just hearsay. There's actual like proof of that Minecraft video. We've seen it. I can go back to it whenever I want. And that's bad.
It is bad. It's dangerous. I feel sorry for all the kids now.
Yeah, because no matter who you are...
If you and I had phones when we were, like, 7 onwards,
Mhm.
Jesus Christ. Can you imagine, like, the shit we would have made?
Just the most embarrassing bullshit.
Yeah.
Because you are. I don't care who you are. You are just embarrassing from, like...
Until you're, like, 18, 19 years old. Like, for real.
Yeah.
A lot of people under those ages,
Yeah.
and even people above them,
can just be really, really wince-worthingly cringy.
Some people never grow out of it. Some people are like 70 years old and just cringing.
Yeah.
Or cringy, making others cringe.
This has got to be the episode where cringe has been said the most, I reckon.
Quite possibly.
But it's all been used within like a reasonable context. Like, some of this shit is really cringy. Especially that Minecraft video.
We've had like a consistent theme, cringe. Because real Rob
you're right.
Cringe is real Rob. And real Rob is cringe.
You should change it to just cringe.
Is like
it's really
cringe.co.uk.
Yeah. Is The Office UK cringier than Peep Show?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's just so short in comparison.
Peep Show is like filmed from the perspective of people, but The Office is filmed from like the perspective of a camera crew.
Yeah.
And these characters that are in front of a camera, not realizing how cringy they are.
Yeah, that is cringy. Yeah, it is. Mr. Cheesehead 1000. If you could make one thing illegal, what would it be?
Smoking cocaine.
Right? That already is illegal.
Smoking heroin, sorry. I meant smoking heroin.
Anything to do with those Class A drugs are illegal.
What about arresting people that have them? Is that illegal?
No, that's legal, isn't it? Arresting people who have drugs.
Then it should be illegal. It should be illegal to have drugs, but it should be illegal to arrest someone for having drugs.
I never really think to myself, wow, I wish that was illegal. Maybe like being a dick.
No, because like being a dick is subjective.
No, but only I get to arrest people who I decide.
You're not even a fucking cop, so...
No, I'm just like...
I reckon shaving this part of a dog's neck should be illegal. Because it looks really fucking stupid.
You know what? I don't know. There are some things that are like, why is that illegal, but that isn't illegal?
Yeah. But that's like saying, why is this movie a 9.8 when this one's a 9.7?
How is that a fair comparison? Like I'm saying, how is like alcohol and cigarettes being legal any different to like weed, the main one, being illegal? Even though like in London, like the police don't even bother fucking arresting you if you have it, because it's like, well, it's a bigger fish to fry at the moment. So you just see people walking around with a fucking joint. Like there's this place around here that I've noticed that's just like this drug den. I could walk past it with the dogs and there's just like loads of dudes standing in there with fucking drugs, and it's like,
where?
Just right down the fucking road.
Research.
Like I was walking down the street and this guy very obviously smoking a joint, and he sees me. Yeah, and he and he sees me and he's like, oh, and he like really, really poorly tries to hide it, and he's holding it down there, thinking he's the fucking bee's knees. Yeah, it's just a ciggy.
That is a stupid one. It's more what should be legal, not illegal.
I would have thought that making it legal would actually save a lot of time and fuss. Ooh. Don't kill it. No, don't you see what I mean? Like, think about it. What is the one thing that the government loves?
Money.
Money.
I know.
Right.
And weed is popular as fuck right now.
What? Yeah, it is. Because this generation has nothing to care about apart from, drugs and ass.
Weed.
and the Emoji Movie, seeing it ironically. Yeah, like surely you're spending way more money like on trying to get all these drug dealers and people who possess loads of weed and all that shit. Why not just like make it legal and then worry about things that matter a little bit more? Because like you let people kill themselves with other drugs, surely make it a decision. That way, that also probably turns some people off because part of the appeal is the fact that it is illegal. So when it is just like you can just buy it in a shop, like sure the people who love fucking weed are going to constantly buy it, but maybe someone who would have like, yeah, I want to be a fucking rebel at the moment, well, they're not going to bother, are they? Because we're like,
They'll go straight to fucking heroin.
It's a nuanced subject, Jim.
What do you think about all drugs being legal?
All drugs being legal? I don't know if you're just sort of asking for it then.
Asking for what?
Well, it's like quite... There is a hypocrisy to it, isn't it? Because like, why should these things, which can kill you, be legal and these things not? You know, like...
It is really difficult because like...
Part of me says, well, maybe it would be a good idea because then you sort of cut out the underbelly a little bit. You can make it safely,
you can
at the very
it.
least.
Yeah.
You can make money off it. The government can make money off it and tax it. And they can make it safe so, you know, less people are fucking getting AIDS from needles and shit.
And why not make it, like, really expensive?
Well, I guess then that'll encourage people to just deal it again, but at lower prices. I really don't know. It's not something I've honestly thought about very much. But it's just like the severity of it, like...
I know. I'm not saying either or is good, you know. I'm just like it is a difficult thing because
it is a difficult thing.
There is a difference between heroin and cigarettes, obviously.
Because part of me thinks there's always going to be a portion of people who are going to do drugs no matter what.
So what's the point?
So what? Yeah. So someone like me, for example, I'm not interested in, you know, taking fucking heroin anytime soon.
Yeah.
So how would it affect me to have it be available? I don't know, from... Who would sell it? Like pharmacies? From pharmacies or whatever. Because I guess when marijuana is... Well, that's medicinal marijuana.
Well,
I guess
it depends where.
Yeah, exactly.
Because some places it's just like
a cigarette. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Tell us in the comments if you think every drug should be legal. Because people are getting them either way. Cascade Shores says, will Jarb Labs ever return from the war? I don't know what the war bit's all about. But I think we do want to do Jarb Labs again. It's just that the biggest problem is at the moment is my internet is such trash. It's quite a rigmarole to get the videos up.
It is.
Because it really does take such a long time to upload at my house currently. I am looking at ways to improve it. Because if my internet was better, it would be a lot more achievable instead of
about 3 videos a day.
Fuck it, man, 6 videos a day.
Some of them just like white noise.
There's another question similar. It's just saying, will Jar or Alex ever set up a PO box? I'm thinking of making you guys something. I've tried twice, but they've just sort of blanked me. I don't know why.
It's really annoying because that guy made that Lego set. Do you remember that?
Yeah. People have said things before that they've made things or wanted to send things, and they have no way of doing so because I don't really want to give my address out.
I didn't want to give any like personal address because that's dangerous shit.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are weird, but yeah, it's a real shame.
Well, Pierre, but I'm sure I could.
Yeah.
You know, but like it's always, I could fuck around, you know, getting a PO box set up, or I could, you know, work on a video. I normally choose the latter.
Just get your internet sorted.
Yeah.
Then we can stream with Angry J. You're playing with the big boys now.
Here's the one I was after. The Prez 222. What does each member of the cast think is the best and worst movie of the year so far? In my opinion, Dunkirk is the best and the Emoji Movie is the worst. Just do it on things you've seen, obviously.
I can't. Logan is probably the best.
Really? Surely Dunkirk would be your choice. You like Logan more than Dunkirk?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I agree, but what's your reasoning?
Logan's just like better.
Good reasoning.
No,
What?
obviously Dunkirk, like on a technical level, it's more impressive.
Yeah.
And like that movie does look and like sound and feel amazing to watch, and I do want to see it again.
I want
like,
to see it again. Maybe not at the cinema, but when it comes out.
It just doesn't have the weight of
Yeah.
Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so fucking bizarre.
It is weird.
An actual thing that happened about like a really heroic event.
Yeah.
Feels less real than a guy with claws that's invincible.
Yeah.
Like having a hard time.
I would say my favourite film I've seen this year is Logan, and my least favourite, discounting the Emoji Movie, is Alien Covenant. That film pissed me off.
Really?
Yeah.
My least favourite, I don't know what I've seen. I guess Boss Baby. Because I haven't seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really do like Train Spotting, T2 Train Spotting. I probably like that more than Dunkirk, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so you changed your mind on Dunkirk or
No.
something? What are you talking about?
Well,
Because you said you think you might like it more than The Dark Knight when we came out of it. Which I was like, oh really?
It's hard to say.
Because I didn't think so at all. I very much disagree with that statement.
I when I first see a movie, the needle is like all over the place.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's sort of flip-flop. Because that like just 10 minutes after we walked out the cinema, it started going straight down. But then
Why?
like
Because you're with me.
Because you sort of level everything out, like all this.
Yeah.
You process everything, and the needle's got to keep going like throughout.
Well, for me, I know whether or not I like a movie.
Well, like obviously I knew
instantly.
I liked it,
Yeah, but then it's like the.
but it's like, do I feel bad about liking it?
Well, in my case, it was do I feel bad for not liking it as much as everyone else with
Right.
Dunkirk? Because I feel like I'm quite an odd one out with this one, because I really,
I don't know.
as much as I appreciate it, I don't love it like everyone else is.
I watched the Double Toasted video on it,
What did they think?
and 3 out of 4 of them basically completely agreed with what you said.
Really?
Yeah. And I was
Because I get it, like I get the point, but I have some real problems with it.
my main problems is like I obviously I didn't even know about Dunkirk.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that was an event that happened. And it's just a massive missed opportunity, like the way he did it.
Yeah.
This is like a really remarkable thing.
It doesn't
that
do
England
justice
did.
to the real event at all.
No. And like it was fucking amazing what the people of England did to save these people,
Yeah.
to save these soldiers.
Mhm.
But you just don't get that in the movie.
Yeah.
You see like 5
Yeah.
old
Well, it seems
men.
like the kind of film that I know.
That should have
I know
been,
Spielberg
like-
wouldn't do it because he's American and it's not the
Yeah.
same. But it's the kind of, you need that emotional element to it,
Yeah.
because it is an inherently emotional, like patriotic story.
He chose the wrong event to tell that story he wanted to tell. Like, war has no heroes, but this
Yeah.
there were.
Yeah.
There were these
Very clear
civilians
heroes.
that came and saved.
Well,
all these people.
and the French that sacrificed themselves, that's completely washed over. Thousands of French people sacrificed themselves so the British people could escape. It was a completely selfless thing that they did, so all the British people could escape.
Didn't really want to do it.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean in terms of the grand scale of war. And I do understand very much liking it, and I do understand the point of the movie, but I don't agree and I don't think it works
I
quite
think
as
they
well.
should have had just something more emotional in the guys on the beach.
Well, my problem is that he wanted to go with this unconventional way of telling a story about war, where it is purely about the spectacle and the fact that it's an army of soldiers that are all faceless and they're all, it's just chaos.
Yeah.
And what you said a second ago, I've already forgotten what you said. About war
has no heroes.
Has no heroes, But in that case, I was thinking to myself, well, hang on then, why did they have One Direction boy in it then, in that case? Because that really highlights a certain actor and a certain person. Everyone else is like a nameless, unrecognizable actor apart from him, and I found that quite distracting. I understand if you didn't, but for me, I thought that was a strange decision.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I remembered Battlefield 1, and the way in that campaign it would follow someone for a bit, and then they'd die in the first level. Yeah. I thought, wouldn't it have been cool if they'd sort of gone for a really experimental kind of thing where it would follow soldiers doing things until they died, and then would switch to someone else, or something crazy like that really is different, as opposed to, because I don't think it is really about the facelessness of this kind of army, because you do follow a character, but you just know nothing about that character. It's all implied and interpreted, if you get what I mean.
But it's just like I obviously understand that he wanted to make that beach horrifying, which he did like really well.
Yeah,
they just wanted to be.
But like I was talking to Grandpa, who was obsessed with Dunkirk afterwards. He was telling me facts about it. It was like, oh, I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
Like every 30 minutes they were attacked by the Germans. Every 30 minutes on the dot. You don't get that at all in the movie.
No.
Like it only felt like they attacked like twice.
Yeah.
When he said there was a quote of Christopher Nolan saying something like, "No, it's not a war movie. It's a tension movie," or something like that. A suspense movie is what he said. And I'm thinking to myself, hang on, that doesn't really make any sense, because in a lot of ways, every movie's a suspense movie, because every film has to have the ticking time bomb thing, especially films like this. There needs to be a driving force, otherwise everything feels plodding and pointless. Name me a film that doesn't have an element of suspense.
I mean, like, just take another World War II movie.
Well, yeah.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've got to get to the...
Well, every war movie ever has suspense in it. So making that the entire point is bizarre to me. And it seems like a strange, like... Because it is a war movie. It very clearly is a war movie. It's a movie about war. Is the point.
Yeah.
And, little things where it's like his insistence on refusing to use any CG, which means some things, like you mentioned, the boats coming in, when it's supposed to feel like because there were thousands of boats coming, people in fucking kayaks and shit even came over. Yeah. But, like, you don't get any of that. It's just like, oh, there are 5 boats, whatever. Mm-hmm. And the people on the beach, 400,000 people, and you don't get that impression at all. I didn't. I do appreciate it. I do get it. I think his approach to effects worked very well for the Dark Knight films. It worked well for Interstellar.
And it worked well for certain scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
But
my point is, I just find it strange that everyone like jumps to the masterpiece thing so quickly.
Yeah.
And part of it is like, you go into it with a different outlook when you're being told by everyone, this is fucking revolutionary.
Yeah.
This is a new thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, I've seen him...
The lack of, like, explaining.
Yeah, I do appreciate it as well, especially because I know Nolan's not the best at it recently.
Yeah, that's like, the biggest thing I appreciated. There's one, like, bit of exposition which was actually 100% necessary. Because someone like me that doesn't really know anything about that event, they explained the basics and... That moves on.
More so, it was like, I look at Mad Max and the way that was done. You actually sort of got quite fleshed out characters.
Yeah.
I felt through that, but I didn't get that feeling with Dunkirk in quite the same way. I guess because the narrative is so different, and so much of it is held up by the fact that it is a real event.
Yeah.
So you always have that to fall back on. It's always going to be epic because the story happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't not make that amazing. So it's almost like a cheat in a way.
But I mean, again, not knowing the actual event, I didn't get the feeling that it was that amazing of an event.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like, holy shit, like Britain just sent all these civilians, and all these civilians willingly went to go save these soldiers.
Because at the same time as it's trying to be broad, it's also really personal. Key clap. And what I mean by personal is when you see the boats, the only one that ever gets any real time is just the old guy, the BFG.
Yeah.
You don't really see anyone else on the boats particularly. The only soldiers you really see is from the perspective of, either Tom Hardy in the sky, who only represents the sky, or the guys on the floor, or the ground. Yeah. And it is quite a repetitive movie as well. I thought the middle sagged a little bit compared to the beginning and end.
I thought like all of it was so tense, like every...
Well, here's the thing about the tension. Did you knock it out again? Oh, it broke. Yeah, I didn't really feel the tension quite that much as I was anticipating, because I keep saying this, but I saw the 10-minute like print thing they edited together before Rogue One, and I thought it was really tense, really well executed, but it was just kind of, I didn't know at the time, but it was just like bits of the movie kind of edited to Hans Zimmer's score in such a way that is not like that in the final cut at all. So that kind of played with my expectations a bit, because I thought if it's going to be on that level of quality as what I saw, those 10 minutes I saw, which were really good in the way it was edited, and then I never felt that same level that I saw in that 10 minutes.
Well, all the tension came from the dude from the beach.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't find any of the dogfighters.
No.
Like, it looked awesome and stuff.
Yeah.
But none of the dogfighting was tense.
Yeah.
And it was, it's just a fear of mine, like being stuck in water, and it's like it's either rising or the thing you're in is sinking.
But he does that twice in the movie as well. Because it's good the first time, but then when they all go into that little boat, and it's like, does this seem really that necessary?
Yeah.
What do you learn? You just learn about that French guy.
Yeah.
Not nothing else really.
I'd come up with my like some theory that makes no sense, but like I was thinking in like a dumber movie. You know that character, when you first see him, he's putting on some boots. That the other guy he'd taken out of their body. Obviously, it turns out, spoilers, he's stolen British uniform. Yeah. I came up with this theory that he'd because he's doing all this stuff like hiding under the pier and like jumping on the boats and taking dead bodies. I thought he'd tried multiple times to get on boats, and every time he'd gotten wet. So he found a dead guy and got his dry boots, and I thought that was gonna be like...
That's really random.
I know, but like I was thinking... Because I wasn't expecting them to like even have a story like that. No. Because there was like no dialogue, and it turned out it's because this guy was French that he wasn't talking. Yeah. And I was thinking like, I'm just gonna have to make up some story for this guy myself. Yeah.
But the thing I really do disagree on the most is the score.
Yeah. Everyone fucking sucks his dick.
Like, I really feel like I'm the odd one out with that one. Everyone says it's fucking amazing, like brilliant. But it was probably the thing that actually bugged me the most about the movie. I thought it was too much. It was too intrusive. You notice it too much.
Yeah. The thing
you never get a chance to rest from it.
It's the way, like I was saying to you before, Christopher Nolan does it. Every single Hans Zimmer soundtrack that Christopher Nolan uses
is identical.
It could be used in any of his films.
Yeah. Because I was thinking to myself the whole time, this technique has been used since The Dark Knight for building tension, and I'm sick of it now. Like it was cool in Interstellar at points. It was very cool in The Dark Knight the first time we'd seen it.
Yeah.
That style, but now it's like, can you just show us something different, you know?
Or let's hear something different.
Yeah, let's hear something different, yeah. Because he is showing us something different. But the sound, the music part is so important to me for emoting and for really getting behind, especially the tension part of it. But I actually feel like some of the scenes would have been more tense without the music in it at times. Not all the time, but sometimes. You know, that there are points where you do have to reel it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Be restrained with it. But I can't remember a point where there isn't music. Or at least a thing.
Yeah.
Go and listen to the first track from The Dark Knight. The first song from the soundtrack of The Dark Knight. There's a certain point where you'll be like, you'll hear it, and it's like that's the same technique he's been using for years. And I thought, to give Interstellar some credit, the way the music is used on the scene with the like water planet.
Yeah.
That's really, really well executed.
That
whole
actually makes
scene.
sense though with the ticking thing, because time is different.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
close to a black hole or whatever. So
Yeah. But they're using the time thing again and again.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's the one time the just playing a stopwatch into a mic like works, because time is an element.
And it's the only time in the movie they do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that scene was
I reckon
brilliantly
Interstellar,
tense.
out of all of the Nolan movies, has the best soundtrack.
The Dark Knight uses it better. The Dark Knight.
I just think like that, you know, the part where Benedict Cumberbatch is looking at his kids growing up, and like that part tickled me.
Yeah, but the scene in The Dark Knight where he's racing to get to Rachel. Music in that scene's way better. The music.
Well, they're completely different like scenarios, but
I mean, like just like the emotional resonance of it, because you actually sort of care about the characters a bit more than you do in Interstellar, which does make a difference. And there are even parts in The Dark Knight Rises where the music is better.
The thing about Interstellar was the first time I saw that scene where he's watching his kids grow up before his eyes. I hadn't seen the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
So it sort of like hit harder with me because I didn't realise
what had come before it. That is quite a specific like example, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I just see these Nolanisms that no one else seems to see or care about.
I reckon they see them, but they think it's just great. It's like just more Nolan. I love Nolan.
I guess, yeah. But like, I'm not
Nolan.
trying to. I don't want to not like it, and I don't necessarily not like it. I did enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. Just Logan is better.
And I do appreciate him a lot, because he's the only director who's able to make these original films. He can do whatever he wants, and he does have these attitudes to visual effects and this sort of restraint that is refreshing. And it is good for someone like that to be at the top, but I don't think that means he's
the thing is that
impossible
there's
to
restraint
criticize.
And there's like arrogance.
Yeah.
And he's been given like this budget and this freedom.
Yeah, the problem is when you know that every film you release is going to get like amazing reviews no matter what, it is going to make you cocky.
Yeah.
You know? The
thing is, the movie doesn't feel cocky. It's just
certain
like
decisions.
I keep saying, when you understand the full magnitude of the real life event, the movie doesn't quite do it justice.
No, it doesn't at all.
And that like actually pisses me off.
As a self-contained movie, it's fine in what it's trying to achieve, but when you take into greater account the actual event,
but it's
it
like
doesn't represent
it's such a mixed bag of like what you're meant to think and feel, because like when they all get home safe and the main characters are feeling shitty about themselves, but then there's also the whole story about the old guy and the kid who like died and
out of nowhere. That was so unnecessary in my opinion. But what annoys me is the fact that at times it does expect you to get really emotional.
Yeah.
And beyond the fact that it is an emotional thing because it actually happened, which is a cheat in some ways, to get an emotional sort of course it's going to be emotional.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean specifically look, the score's swelling, the boats are coming. Yeah, but like you haven't presented this in such a way that's built up naturally.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's happening now. Be emotional now, because this is the part where you're supposed to feel that, and it doesn't feel organic in the way I would have liked it to. Because like when war movies hit me, they actually do really, really, really hard. But I didn't feel any emotion whatsoever at all. I just thought, oh, that's cool. That the production on this is fucking amazing. The direction's really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots to appreciate, but it never made me feel anything. So in that sense, it felt like a hollow kind of film to me. That's the problem.
I feel like that style would work more with a more recent event, because the war's like we're not fighting Nazis now.
Yeah.
It's way less black and white.
Yeah.
Or even World War One.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just choose a war where you can sort of, and an event that isn't so heroic.
Yeah.
Like, why present this stuff?
It is strange because it is such a...
Because it wants you to question, like, your morals on one side, but also think how amazing these people are for going and saving these soldiers.
It is a time where a bit of schmaltz might have actually worked.
Yeah.
You know? But I said it on Twitter. Nolan is like trying to be Stanley Kubrick and Steven Spielberg at the same time. And they're so totally on the opposite ends of the spectrum that when you feel it clash, it really does clash, and it doesn't work for me. So Spielberg loves the schmaltzy, the classic cinema blockbuster, making you feel emotions, whereas Kubrick's more mechanical, and
he wants you to think at the end of a movie.
Yeah, he wants.
He doesn't see the point. Well, he didn't see the point in making a movie and like
exactly.
not having you think for hours.
Yeah, he wants to make it thoughtful, and complex in a lot of ways, and go against the grain and make you think. But those two ideals don't really work. If it just stuck to one of them, then I would appreciate it a lot more. If it was just this clinical thing the whole time, and had this sort of almost creepiness to it.
If he wanted it to be clinical, he would have had to stay on the beach and not show the story of the old dude.
Yeah. And have it just be really dark, really miserable. And how do you feel about the lack of gore? Because I've seen some debate about this.
It only bugged me once, really. And
was it when he's lying down with the bombs going off?
No. It was at the start. When they're all running away.
Mm-hmm.
And like 4 of the guys get shot in the back.
Yeah.
And there wasn't like a drip of blood.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't bug you that a bomb lands on someone and he just goes, wee?
No, because like, are you supposed to have a fucking video game like
no, because
Gears of War?
No, because people do fucking explode when a bomb is dropped on them.
The bomb doesn't hit him; it hits there, and then his body launches.
But you know that it would explode, like limbs would go flying. We wouldn't stay in one piece if he's fucking bombed. I mean, if
I'd have to look at that bit again, but I thought I was fine with the bombing.
It was a cool shot, but like the argument against the gore that I've seen is a really strange one. It was like, people who were there are still alive, and it might really upset them to see it, and that is such a silly argument.
That makes no sense. Look at Saving Private Ryan again.
I think that war is violence, right?
Yeah.
So surely the violence only adds to it, and it only makes it that much more horrific.
Well, especially for what he was trying to show, how horrible it was to be on the beach.
So that is a bizarre choice.
Yeah, weird making it 12A.
Because I remember when I noticed, I said to you, "Oh, it's a 12A."
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw a war movie that was a 12A? That the violence is almost like just a given with all the last war movies I've seen. You know, that fucking, I don't know if you've seen it, that film Kajaki, about those soldiers who were trapped, I think in Iraq somewhere, with all these mines. And of course, like, you can't have a movie about mines without some fucking horrible gore in it. And that's almost part of it. It's like filtering that out, I don't want to say is disrespectful necessarily, but it's not being accurate, is it? Because that's what it is, that they're not fucking playing paintball, they're fucking killing each other.
Exactly, when they're running away from the guns at the start.
Yeah.
Like, First, something that did kind of bug me, to be honest, was the reaction of the guy, the main character, when he's hiding from the British gunfire.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really look like he gave a shit. He was just like, nah, I'm a Brit, it's cool. But yeah, anyway, the guy's being shot at the start. That is the only violence bit that genuinely bugged me.
Yeah. I remember thinking about it for like a second, but then forgetting about it.
I don't know if I would have thought that if you hadn't have told me beforehand that it was a 12.
No.
I don't know.
But you would have thought it eventually. You would have seen a comment about it. You would have seen when the DVD comes out.
But I mean, immediately, because that's like the first thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's a bit weird that
there's no blood. Yeah.
Like, do their like coats even go?
I can't remember. And the thing is, it's been a couple of weeks now since seeing it, so there are some things that won't be the freshest in my mind. But
what rating was Planet of the Apes?
I would have thought 12A.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically
that
a concentration camp for apes.
Yeah. But that was like more violent.
Oh look. It was actually, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was blood in it too, I think. When a character gets shot, there's blood or something.
When
if he's shot, I can't
he's
remember.
in the snow and they take the thing off and there's like blood coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They end up shooting
just
him
that random guy.
shotgun.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I noticed this the other day. Yeah, it's a 12A. That one, so they're both 12As. War for the Planet of the Apes, which we saw not long ago as well, is like the polar opposite of Dunkirk. It's like the most traditional fucking storytelling of all time. It is, everyone has these like understandable motivations to the point of it being predictable, along with the story and the characters and everything. Like,
yeah.
Well, this character's suddenly getting some development, that means they're going to die. This theme is being brought up, that means that this is going to happen and then it's going to end this way, okay. This character's being set up as a somewhat villain. They're going to be redeemed with like a noble sacrifice. You know all these things where it's like quite obvious.
But I sort of appreciate it, like, at the same time.
Yeah, it's weird because
I don't like it when movies like take no risks, but they it's not that they didn't take risks. They just sort of perfected an art. I don't know. Everything just works. It's hard to pick apart something that's like.
It's weird because you have to pick apart something that you'd normally.
The only thing you can say is that it's like too correct.
Yeah, or too safe, too predictable.
Yeah.
I guess it is weird because normally what you're criticizing films for is because they don't make enough sense.
Yeah.
They're jumping about, motivations are all over the place or non-existent. Whereas with that film, it was like, well, everyone's kind of given a bit of time.
Motivations made sense. Like, it looked beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Had a cool soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think it was just the sort of lack of subtlety. Like, it was a lot of talking. A nice combo of what Dunkirk was, along with some of what this film does. War of the Planet of the Apes would have been a bit nicer, wouldn't it?
The one thing I sort of missed was the sign language.
They did it a bit.
I know, but I mean, like, loads of the second one was sign language.
Yeah.
Like, almost all of the ape stuff.
Mm-hmm. I guess they did have to show some progress of them.
Yeah.
Sort of advancing a bit in terms of their speech and that kind of stuff.
Caesar's like always been able to talk anyway.
Yeah.
But
and you do have to give props to the effects because like
they're fucking unbelievable.
We've done it almost with at least with the apes.
Yeah.
Like they look completely real at points.
Well, you know, they were gonna release it like 6 months earlier than they did apparently, but
really
they were just like, hold on.
We need
Let's
to
make
polish
it look like these CG things are there.
Yeah.
And in the end product,
I mean, it shows, yeah.
They are.
And I understand that that's also like an easy way to criticize it. It's like a compliment and also something you can criticize it for in the same way. Like, like Avatar. Yeah, the stories, whatever,
The thing
the
is,
effects, the world, and all that is all really well done for the time.
with Planet of the Apes, though, like when they at the start they're in like this cave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not the start, but like in the first act they're in this cave where Caesar lives, and I couldn't tell if the whole thing was CG or an actual set,
Yeah,
which means they're doing something really fucking right.
yeah. But I've heard something somewhere where it's like when you're noticing how good an effect is, the story isn't engrossing you. Like it's not doing its
I
job.
don't agree with that.
No.
Like, if you're watching an ape speak on screen, your head's gonna be like, okay, this looks real, but obviously it's not, because they haven't trained an ape to act.
I think
Sorry.
it works sometimes. You know, like if there's a crazy action scene happening, and I don't know. Sometimes action scenes when they're just completely CG, they have this thing of being, you know, like the end of Man of Steel, for example, where it's like, wow,
Yeah.
this is all well animated, I guess, and
Mhm.
there's loads of explosions, but it's been going on for so long now. You know, can you just speed this up a little bit?
Mhm.
I appreciate the hard work from all those animators out there, but
It's just not as weighty.
yeah. There's lots to like about it, and I guess lots to criticize about it. I know there's especially some YouTubers who really don't like it. I think
like what?
YMS really hates it.
Planet of the Apes.
But he hates I think all three of them.
Right.
I know Ralph didn't like War. But I haven't actually watched any videos they've made about them to really see why. Because I don't really find them to be very hateable movies.
No, not at all.
Because in a world where the things we listed, like motivations and sensical storytelling to a point in
But it's
Hollywood
just
blockbusters is hard to find. It is refreshing to see something that's just like that makes sense, had a beginning, middle, and end.
Mm-hmm. But like compared to Thor 2,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd be so bored watching Thor 2. But like,
I think for a film about CG apes, just making that in and of itself believable and work within the confines of the
making
film.
an ape holding a fucking assault rifle riding a horse,
Yeah,
making you sort of invested in what
yeah,
that is doing, like that's a thing in this world, and making
Mhm.
you not just think, wow, that is really fucking stupid.
yeah.
That's commendable.
So that is something. That is definitely something.
I guess that's just too inherently stupid for some people.
If the premise bugs you, you're just not going to get past it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, I think. Whereas I want to like it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool. It's cool. You know, the 12-year-old in me is like,
Yeah.
that's fucking epic.
But I just like when they're all.
There's something about apes as well. I don't know what it is.
They're
Especially like
relatable as fuck.
orangutans and gorillas.
Orangutans. Holy shit.
They have the best name and the best face. The best fucking plate face.
Yeah, the plate face. Like you feel more sorry for plate face than you do like an actual human.
Yeah.
Like if an actual human was doing the same shit.
They have that cheat thing of like, everyone loves animals. No one
Mhm.
wants to see any harm come to animals. But then the main characters are all animals.
Yeah. It's
So-
just like a Disney animated movie,
Yeah.
but with like machine guns instead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, I guess it was kind of cool to see that in a world where, you know, Marvel movie, the new Star Wars movie, you know, all this shit, you know, fits a certain
Mm-hmm.
thing that's sort of expected. And while in and of itself it is expected, it's also oddly refreshing in a couple ways too.
Like Logan. Logan was very.
Like Logan, yeah. Rounding it back to the subject, like fucking an hour later. Yeah, Logan so far. I mean, we're
it's-
still only in August.
It's the movie that it took to make me invested in like comic book movies again. Like,
Yeah, I thought I wasn't going to care about them again,
Yeah.
really.
but I was like, okay, there's still hope.
But you know, people are saying Spider-Man Homecoming is the best comic book movie. I've seen it, even heralded as.
Whatever.
Yeah, like comic book.
Oh,
you
right,
know,
yeah.
you know, like actual representational
Yeah.
of the source material kind of stuff.
I think I could get that.
Whether or not I'll
I
like
think
that, I don't know. Haven't seen it yet.
I just don't think I like comic books.
Yeah, I think I'm with you.
Like
In the same way it bugs people that apes riding horses is just silly.
I just get bugged by ego dude being having a big ego.
Oh, that's not a comic thing.
Oh.
That's specifically a Marvel thing. The way they've chosen to portray these characters as all being the same. I don't know if they all are necessarily that in the comics. I haven't read them.
But I mean, Peter Parker is.
Yeah, but Peter Parker's
Peter
allowed
Parker
to be
isn't
because he's a
Spider-Man.
fucking teenager. You know.
But I mean, I'm just really fucking tired of it.
I'm tired of it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking when.
It's just like the most obvious way to get laughs.
Yeah.
Have him say something sarcastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like they probably in the script just write like when it comes to Tony Stark, sarcastic.
Yeah.
Thing.
Hey, Robert Downey Jr., just be an asshole to me for a minute. Good, perfect. We're moving on now. Yeah, I'm just... I'm waiting for Infinity War. The first trailer to drop, and it's just like... Quippy line, sarcastic line, more quippy line.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's just like the same archetype. Oh, Jesus, what's going to happen?
It's like...
I hope they don't do that thing where all of a sudden, like, characters are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Just so they can all fit in a different...
The Avengers worked with those characters because, like...
Well, they only had the one smart ass, didn't they?
Discounting Black Widow and Hawkeye,
Yeah.
there's only one smart ass. So everyone had their place. But, like... Now there's Ant-Man, and obviously they made Black Widow and Bow Guy. They're just smartasses as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because there's that great scene in the first Avengers where they're all arguing.
yeah,
You got Bruce, fuck his name, Bruce Banner.
Bruce.
He's like the
Pussy
nerd,
Banner.
sort
He's
of
just
straight
pussy.
man. You got Nick Fury, angry man.
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. Robert Downey Jr., the cocky, arrogant, snide one who makes fun of everyone. You got Captain America, who is Mr. America, straight man. And that
What are you
dynamic
without
worked.
Your suit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a billionaire.
So it's quite memorable. I remember so many like lines and bits from the Avengers, but I don't remember really anything from much after that.
No.
Because they all just blur into the same character. Like I was thinking to myself, I know it's a bit of a tangent, you know, like Star-Lord.
Yeah.
He's another one that's sort of snarky.
Yeah, he is.
But
But he's Iron Man, but with more depth.
yeah.
But they added depth to Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. Like the same
Afterwards.
story, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of wish Peter Quill was like really fat, or you know, like
Just something different.
because he's just
He's-
like
he's
a hunky
fucking-
man.
He's another hunky man. That's the one thing Tony Stark isn't.
because he's 50 or something.
Well, I mean,
But he's still
how
pretty
old is
fucking.
J.K. Simmons? Is his name J.K.?
Yeah, it is.
Just kidding.
Just kidding, Simmons. Are we rambling at this point? Or?
Yeah. I just fucking hate quips. Just shut
Well,
up.
No, but
and
like
punch a dude.
quips can work.
No, I know.
You
It's
have
just
to have
like-
the quippy character.
As someone that has played a lot of video games as well, that is
That's a
always-
real problem in video
that's
games.
always immediately the character.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan Drake.
Well, it's thanks to Nathan Drake. Because everyone loves Nathan Drake.
But I mean Nathan Drake is thanks to just any like basic ass Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
And
it's
always
weird,
the
they're like
thing of-
leeching off each other.
Yeah, they make this just quippy character that has no depth, and then if that thing does well, then they'll give him depth afterwards. Like, the first one
Actually, I've
doesn't
had a
matter.
really dark past.
Yeah. My brother used to be my one lifeline, but he left
Yeah.
me.
Well, how do you feel about like Daredevil? Sorry, not Daredevil. Fucking Deadpool. Sorry, they were like this
Yeah,
blur in
again.
my fucking head.
I was actually going to say I like Daredevil because he's not quippy. He's just Batman, but
Yeah.
he wears red instead. Which is annoying. Some of the shit he says in that TV show is like just taken from Batman and put into red.
Deadpool is...
He's a rip-off of Batman, like, no fucking doubt.
No, Deadpool, I said.
Oh, Deadpool.
Yeah.
Fuck, they're blending in my head as well. But Deadpool, yeah, Deadpool.
Deadpool's the kind of... He's like the original quipster fucking asshole character. And if you like that, you like that.
But,
and
like,
if you
what I
don't,
like
you
about him
don't.
is that they took it to such an extent.
An extreme, yeah.
But at the same time...
It was something new because there was some violence, there was some fucks in there.
And it made Logan R-rated.
Well, yeah, you can always give it credit for that. But I mean, him in himself, the character. Would you want to see a Deadpool 2?
Sure. I'm not gonna want to go to the cinema
No, me
to
neither.
see it. But it's just like... I don't find that type of humour very funny.
Yeah, when the
Yeah.
when the joke is like...
When the joke... the joke is the character acknowledging that they're funny and saying something funny.
Yeah.
Like, that's not as funny to me as someone
like a joke, a well-written joke.
Yeah, but I mean, like, obviously a comedian on stage is funny. But...
No, it's different in a movie, though.
Yeah.
Like, for a character to be funny, they have to be... Well, they either have to have well-written jokes or be, you know... I'm just trying to think of, like... Nick Frost in Hot Fuzz, for example,
Mhm.
right? He's really funny in that movie. He's sort of a dumb, lovable idiot.
Yeah.
But he has a character.
But again, that character has, like, way more depth than any of the
Mhm.
Marvel characters.
Yeah, in one movie.
And in one movie that is a comedy. Not
Yeah.
even, like
Yeah.
it's making fun of other action movies. And I feel more for fucking
Yeah.
funny, fat, fall-over cop.
Yeah.
And,
There literally is a fall-over joke in that film as
Yeah.
well. I remember it in the trailers.
mhm. I remember it in the trailers, like, really underselling the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I mean, though. Like, that will infinitely be funnier and more likable to me than... I'm just sick of, like, every character being an asshole,
Yeah.
you know? Like, but that's Deadpool's whole thing. Is that
It's
he's
just it's already been stolen from him.
Yeah. Like, Robert Downey Jr. has been doing it for fucking ages.
Yeah.
They're just not quite that self-referential because they can't be, because they've got to sort of stick to the theme a little bit.
self-referential stuff does get on my nerves as well, though.
Yeah,
I don't
you
mind
have
that.
to draw the line because a reference isn't a joke necessarily, but within some confines it kind of can be.
It can work, but I mean, like, when...
You know, like the one about him saying, which Professor X, you know, jokes that are playing on their own cinematic universe.
Yeah, because that is funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
But when TJ Miller says, why don't you go talk to that guy? It might advance the plot.
Yeah, I fucking hate shit like that. When it's just like, we think this is funny and clever, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, no, that's like you've literally changed the line from line that advances the plot to them just saying,
Yeah, exactly.
this is the line, we'll go over there and advance the
Just
plot.
acknowledging that you're doing, like, a cliche thing doesn't make it not cliche.
Yeah, like, what do you think about the joke where it's them doing the superhero landing then? Because that is them doing it, but acknowledging it. There's a bit more thought to that one, though, isn't there? Because
Yeah.
they're having a character do it and then pointing at it and saying, isn't this silly and cliche? But that other one wasn't pointing at that and doing that. It was just doing it. If you get what I mean.
I don't know. I mean, first of all, it pisses me off that it's the character of it's TJ Miller saying it. Not just because I don't like TJ Miller, but because why is that character acknowledging that he's in a movie? He's not Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like,
If Deadpool
so
did
they're
it,
in this
yeah.
universe where Deadpool, but everyone can. So, like, where
Yeah,
are the
you need
rules?
some
There
consistency.
needs some boundary. You need
to have
boundaries.
rules. Yeah, I
You
thought
need-
the joke with Deadpool is that he's the only one.
Yeah,
like, and everyone
else
just thinks
is
he's mad.
like, what?
Like,
But
what
no,
are you talking
TJ Miller has also had the weird mutant shit, and
Yeah.
before Deadpool has.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, I didn't even
what?
think about that with the inconsistency there.
That really fucked me off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't laugh. I was like, I don't like you, TJ Miller. Stop talking. Get out of this movie. And then
He's
says,
in the second one, Joe.
Yeah, I know.
Does that make you pleased?
I mean, I don't really give a shit either way. I might just not watch the movie. So.
Yeah, because you mentioned it, and the going back to the Always Sunny thing, this like interchangeable character thing.
But yeah, no. Quickly before that, they laugh at what do you call it? A laugh track in the latest season.
Yeah,
Like, it's not the most subtle thing, but I mean, they don't put it in the show. They don't like have a laugh track the whole time, and then like they have a character making a sitcom, and then putting in a laugh track to make it funny.
Yeah,
Like, that's not actually in your show. You don't have a laugh track.
yeah.
You're just pointing out this is why we don't. It's fucking stupid. They don't. Just,
It was funny.
yeah, but they don't just do it and then point out how stupid it is as a free pass.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be like if the Big Bang Theory did the same thing.
Yeah.
If a character was making a thing, but it's like, you already do. Why are you criticizing something that you're doing?
You're not clever just because you know you're doing it.
Yeah. It's if anything, it's more cynical.
It's like it's this balance of self-awareness that things have to have, because you see YouTubers doing it even. You know the
It's the free pass thing. Like, as long as I know I'm shit, I can be shit and it's not shit.
Yeah. If you just constantly joke about how shit you are,
Then
then no one can call you shit.
But they can.
But it doesn't mean anything because it's all you do. Just like in every single fucking video you say your content is shit. Or bad, or look, it's another 10-minute and 1-second video. How funny is that?
Fucking
Look, guys.
12 ads making loads of money.
Yeah. And it's like, well, come on, man. Like, in fact, you acknowledging it almost makes it worse if you're not going to do anything about it.
We did something similar on the JARCAST once.
Which one?
When it was me doing Started from the Bottom, Now We're Here for like 3 hours after the podcast ended. And there were like 1,000.
That was a one-off
adverts.
joke, though.
That was a one-off joke. We didn't even acknowledge it, and you weren't missing anything by like going through the rest of that. It was literally just a fucking repeat audio clip
with a fucking gif of like Mr. Bean.
Yeah. So the second that hits, like, we ended the podcast. The second we end it, you can click off and you haven't missed anything.
And we don't do it every episode. If every episode of the JARCAST was 4 hours long, and we just joked about it, like,
Man, we're making so much ad revenue.
Even though we wouldn't, because everyone would just click off once the podcast is over, and that would be it. Yeah, it's this self-awareness thing that...
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous, but when it's used right, it can be so good.
It can be.
Like all of those Edgar Wright movies that everyone sucks off because they're really good, they're all very self-aware. But it's not taking that self-awareness.
There's a difference between self-aware and self-referential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now the line is so blurred because plenty of them do both.
No, you can't be self-referential without being self-aware, but you can be self-aware without being self-referential.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Every Edgar Wright movie is self-aware.
Yeah.
But he never once references like how silly the situation is, or like...
Or he does, but through clever uses of things that aren't just characters saying, look, let's do that thing that they did in that movie.
That's awareness.
I've noticed loads of American comedies do that. They just like reference something that another movie has done.
Mm-hmm.
Or like they dress up as a character that's from another movie, and it's like the joke is that they dressed up as that character that you recognize.
Yeah.
Where it's like, do you remember that part in Hot Fuzz where fucking Nick Frost's character is pointing his gun at his dad?
Yeah.
And he chooses not to, and he shoots it up in the air as a reference to a scene earlier where he was watching the action movie. I don't know which one, I can't remember. The one with fucking Matrix guy in it.
Keanu.
Pisses me off when people say like movies are bad now.
Yeah, I know. Especially after this year.
It's been a really good year, I reckon, so far.
Uh-huh. Boss Baby,
the Emoji Movie.
Boss Baby 2 announced.
Yeah, the Emoji Movie's raking it in. Good year for movies.
Boss Baby.
And it's only August, too.
Aww.
I know you don't really care about Star Wars, but...
Me?
New one will be good, yeah.
I do, though. Oh, it's fucking awkward because... The whole time watching The Force Awakens, I was like, boy, am I excited to see Luke. Luke's my all-time favourite dude of all time. And then like, you see him for like half a second. And then I walked out the movie and I was like, yeah, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
But then over the space of a year, I'm sort of like thinking into making it shit in my head. And it's just like, it's A New Hope, but not as good.
Mm-hmm.
And characters I don't like as much. But this one's going to have Luke in it, so...
Hey, at least those characters weren't...
They weren't.
They weren't that archetype, were they?
And
they were just likeable. That was enough.
I mean, the most, like, quippy they get is...
It's Finn.
Finn, yeah. And he's not even, like, quippy.
And they're going to make it all serious anyway, because they'll just make it like Empire, won't they?
Yeah, it's just going to be Empire remake.
I'm so scared of that. Do you know how furious I'll be? I'll take everything back about The Force Awakens then.
Uh-huh.
If they do that. God, I'll be fucking pissed.
What would you do if it starts and it's like lava planet and...
No, it starts with the wimey coming down from the fuck, because that's how Empire starts with the...
Yeah, no,
Star
but it's got to
Destroyer.
be like...
A
reversed.
little bit different.
No, it'll still just be Snow Planet.
No, they've shown it though, but now instead of it being snow speeders, it's like pods on the sand. The red sand, they leave like a red mist behind them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cool imagery, I'll give them that.
it is, but that could be very different to... That could just be another pod racer thing on a new planet.
It has to, yeah, the context is important, but I do think that I'm actually more excited for that one now than I was for episode 7. Because for episode 7 it was like, as long as this is good, I'm not going to be annoyed.
I reckon the trailers for episode 7 were way
They were
better.
way better, yeah. But there was more of a, if this sucks, this is it,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah,
I was just pleased that it was a movie.
J.J. Abrams was just like, all right.
He played it safe, yeah, but I do sort of understand why he did.
Yeah. I'd fucking hate to be a director and then put on that job.
I mean, Christ, what a horrible fucking predicament to be in.
I mean, like, it would be fucking awesome. But,
yeah.
But fucking horrible as well.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just
especially with the way the internet is now, and it seems like 50-50. People fucking hate The Force Awakens, it seems like.
Yeah, but hate is very, like...
Well, and it's like a vocal minority thing where people say it when it's like the majority of people who go see movies, they see it and they're like, that was a good 2 hours, I'm going to go continue on with my life now, I don't care. You know, the people who obsess about film, I mean. I was just happy that it was a fucking movie. Like after the prequels,
Yeah.
it was like, I mean, that was just like a real, you know, J.J. Abrams was fucking obsessed with Steven Spielberg. You know, it was quite traditionally directed, well shot.
Good
Had
action.
some fun effects, really good action. And with it, I'm not expecting much from a Star Wars film. I just want it to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Make me feel like a kid again, and I thought it did that.
The fucking original, like, Star Wars Force theme, though.
Mm-hmm.
That can, like, bring tears to my eyes. It's like, it's such
It's weird, isn't it, how nostalgia can...
It's such a power, because, I mean, you and I were obsessed with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we didn't read the books or anything, but, like, that's all that was in our heads. Everything revolved around Star Wars.
Yeah. Just a complete... And that was, like, after the prequels as well. But we, like, never watched the prequels.
Well, I don't know.
No, we didn't. We just watched certain scenes from them.
Yeah.
Don't you remember?
Yeah,
We just fast forward to, like, the action scenes, the meaningless fucking guff. But I don't remember doing that with the original.
I don't remember watching movies at all. I just, like...
Because you'd get the, like, encyclopedia, and you'd, like, look through all the characters and read about it and see all the crazy shit, and you just make up stuff in your head.
Yeah. Well, you'd make up all these stories with your Lego
Yeah.
figures. It was the combination of Lego and Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just cemented
what did
this obsession in our brains.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to that one.
So I hope
I think seeing Luke will be the kicker, though. That'll be enough just to make that movie
with
worth
music, I reckon it has the potential for me to like it way more than episode 7.
it. Yeah. Because I was always more of a Luke guy than a Han Solo guy.
Really?
Yeah. Because Luke
Obviously, I was.
Yeah, Luke is the guy. He's the one all the kids want to be, because he's the one who has the boring life. He's taken away. He becomes the Jedi. The hero.
Han Solo is sort of more like if you were a teenager.
Yeah, definitely. He fit that sort of need, more the like handsome rogue guy. Yeah, so that would be fucking cool. I also want an old man Luke Lego figure. That'd be cool.
Obviously.
We've gone on so long now. This has been the longest one in so long, and it's nearly midnight.
What time? What's the hour at?
1 hour 40.
1 hour 40.
45.
Okay, so write down the like time thing. It's time for you to finally do the dice.
No, I will not. Do you know how long it's going to take to upload?
Get the good internet.
I want to. I'm waiting on stuff.
Just put the camera onto max for the end. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
He looks dead. He's just fast asleep. Don't worry, he's not dead.
Good night, Max.
Thanks for watching. The first, what was it called? BROCAST. What the fuck was it? That like it hurt. We'll see you on the next one, where there will probably be. Will James be in the next one?
I don't know. It's been 2 weeks now. Sure.
I think it's been 2 weeks. Ruben should be as well. If you've got this far, comment. Missy Berlisi, loving
They don't even know what you're saying. If you made it.
Okay,
this
say.
far,
No, yeah, if you made it this far, say. Oh, Lisa Simpson.
say Lisa Simpson. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Do you find YouTube sexist the way everyone says, "What's up, guys?" or like, "Hi,
No,
guys"?
I don't think that is sexist at all, because girls can be guys as well. You know, you know what I mean. Fuck you.
Oh, baby.
Oh, Max.
Oh, Murphy.
You don't have to look, Murphy. You don't have to look so down.
He always looks down even when he's up. Tubby boy.